Hello everyone, welcome back to another Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire video. In this video, I will be discussing one of the powerful events in the world of ice and fire, the Rains of Castamere. So, if you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe for more exclusive videos and be the first to get updates on the new upcoming HBO TV series as early as January 2026. Now let's get to it. You may have heard this Lannister song over and over across the entire show, and the most prominent one was played at the Red Wedding. According to House Lannister, there's no faster way to dull a vassal's ambition or any festive occasion than hearing the Rains of Castamere. With that song, everyone pays attention and becomes cautious because of the history behind it. House Rain of Castamere was an old and proud house that was slowly sinking back into the muck. Their mines had run dry. Without gold, they turned to a more common source of wealth, daughters. They began marrying their daughters to rich and powerful houses. Lady Ellen Rain was betrothed to Sir Tywin Lannister, an elder brother to Tytos Lannister, the father of Tywin Lannister. But when he fell in battle, Lady Ellen sought comfort in his twin brother's bed, Tywin Lannister, beating out the other woman he had promised to marry. Then Tywin, who had shared his twin's betrothed wife, shared his twin's death in the Fourth Blackfire Rebellion. Lady Ellen flung herself at the new and married heir to the Rock, but Tytos was more kitten than lion. He ran away and told his wife of Lady Ellen's designs, and Lady Ellen soon found herself married off to Walderan Tarbeck, Lord of House Tarbeck. The Rains and Tarbecks should have sunk into obscurity together, and they would have, if not for Tytos Lannister becoming Lord of Casterly Rock. At first, the Westerlands laughed with the Laughing Lion, as the jovial Tytos was called, but when men realized this lion had neither teeth nor claws, they started to laugh at him openly. None laughed harder than the Rains and Tarbecks. Though Lady Ellen was no longer welcome at Casterly Rock, Tytos didn't refuse her brothers, Roger and Reynard Rain, not even when they asked for extravagant loans. Lady Ellen restored Tarbeck Hall to a grandeur she hadn't known since being cast out of the Rock. When Tytos broached the subject of repayment of those loans, Roger and Reynard only laughed, and soon enough, Tytos was laughing along with them. Then Tywin Lannister, who is the elder son of Tytos, returned from the War of the Ninepenny Kings, where he'd seen how the rest of the realm sniggered at House Lannister. Determined to restore his house to its proper place, demanded the immediate repayment of all debts to the Rock, or a hostage from those who couldn't pay. Reynard Rain merely laughed when he received the raven. Lord Walderan Tarbeck chose to ride to Casterly Rock, sure that he could cow Lord Tytos into rescinding Tywin's commands. He could have, except it wasn't Tytos who met him at the gate, but Tywin himself, who had Lord Walderan thrown into a dungeon. Lady Ellen protested, and the Rains threatened war. And finally, Tytos Lannister broke and released Lord Tarbeck with an apology, no less. As if bathing himself in shame, Tytos further forgave all the Tarbeck debts to House Lannister. To celebrate the end of hostilities, Lord Roger feasted Tytos at Castamere, and the two lords proclaimed their friendship for eternity. Tywin allowed eternity to last a year. When he summoned the Rains and Tarbecks to Casterly Rock to answer for their crimes, they rose in revolt exactly as he expected. Their defiance gave him a pretext to call his banners and ride for Tarbeck Hall and Castamere with an army behind him. He didn't even bother to inform his father, Tytos Lannister, Lord of Casterly Rock. Tywin's army descended on the Tarbecks so quickly that Lord Walderan had no time to gather his forces, and rode against Tywin with only his household knights. Soon his head, his sons' heads, and the heads of any man with Tarbeck blood adorned the spears of the Lannister vanguard as it marched to Tarbeck Hall. At their approach, Lady Ellen Tarbeck closed the gates and sent ravens to her brothers at Castamere. She assumed they'd have more than enough time to muster their armies and break what would be a long siege. Tywin had trebuchets up in a day and brought down the keep within hours. Lady Ellen and her son were crushed in its fall. When the Tarbeck forces surrendered, Tywin put their castle to the torch. Roger Rain arrived with his army just in time to see the flames consuming his sister's home. He charged Tywin's camp, hoping surprise would win out over his great numbers. It didn't. With half his men dead on the field and a crossbolt in his back, Lord Roger fled back to Castamere. The Lannister host arrived at Castamere 3 days later. Like Casterly Rock, the seat of House Rain had begun as a mine. When the gold gave out, the mine shafts were widened into halls, galleries, and bedchambers deep beneath the earth. The Rain brothers didn't have the men to defend the castle walls and retreated into their underground stronghold. From this relative safety, they offered terms to Tywin to avoid a long siege. Tywin Lannister didn't reply. Instead, he commanded that the mines be sealed with stone and soil until there was no way in and no way out. When that was completed, it took less than a day to dam the stream beside the castle and only 2 to divert it to the nearest entrance. The Rains had taken more than 300 men, women and children into the mines. A few guards reported hearing faint screams and shouts below them one night. But come dawn, the earth was silent once again. And now the rain weeps o'er their halls with no one left to hear. Many years later, after Tywin Lannister became the Lord of the Rock, Lord Farman of Fair Island became petulant. Tywin Lannister sent a lute to be played in his hall instead of a letter. Afterwards, Lord Farman started behaving well. Let me know what you guys think about Tywin and his obsession with family down below. Kindly subscribe, like, comment and share for more exclusive videos. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye.